Hello everyone, it's Nono here and we're live. This is the Nono.MA live stream. This is a thing that I do every Thursday, or I try to do every Thursday, usually from 12, starting around 12 to 2 p.m. EST, Eastern Time in the United States. It's, what time is it? It's 6:30 p.m. here in Malaga, Spain, and we're just gonna get started. The first thing I'll tell you is that if you're a newcomer, this is a live stream where I'm just typing things and doing things that have to do with creative coding, machine intelligence, which is AI and machine learning, art, design, you name it. We also do things related to podcasting, writing, workflow automation, and scripting, many other things. There's a lot of coding here, but also we try to take a look at things from the point of view of the designer. And if you're online at the moment, I'll really appreciate if you can tell me if you can see me okay and if you can hear me right. I will take a chance to say hi to Sodivias, to Bea, and to Sajeh, who are online at the moment of the start of this live stream and are with us today. So hello everyone, and this is just about to get started. Please tell me in the chat if you can hear me, if you can see me. I'm gonna get started really soon. I'm just going to be setting up some stuff here on my end. I'm trying a slightly different setup than other times, and right now you don't see my screen, you just see a placeholder, and we're gonna get started. The first thing I'm gonna do is share with you an overview or an outline of what I intend to do today, the roadmap that I intend to do today. And let's see, as always, how long or how much we can cover. There are a few things that are slightly different than other times that you probably won't notice. So give me just 1 second and I'll get started. Feel free to start asking questions or commenting on the chat. All right. So one thing I'm trying to do behind the scene, today I tried to create a Gmail account specific for this live stream so I can do things that have to do with Google Drive and Gmail and other APIs and other things and Colab without my personal email address. That is something that has happened sometimes before, and I don't really feel comfortable. I don't think that should be the way in which we should do these things. So I have my own account now for this. I think if I click in here, or maybe if I click here, so this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to set up this new email account, and we'll be getting started really soon. All right, and I have the chat. I don't have the Discord open at the moment. Let me quickly open it just to see if there are any comments there and to let everyone know that we just started. This is live stream 36. As always, you can access it through the short link that is nono.ma/live/36. So here we have the channel. So this is the Discord server, and if I get this thing here, all right, that's good. We're just gonna put here we're live now. All right, and this is Code Anti-Code, Andres Colubri. All right, awesome. So this would be here links for live 36. We're gonna put a placeholder, and I'm just gonna copy these ones there because I've renamed this channel for the links, which is either way what we were doing before already. All right, so give me just 1 more second to hold on to that screen, and we'll get started soon. Tell me also, I'm using a new microphone, so I have that here. Let me see if there's not. 1 second. So that's a bit odd, but this is the new microphone. If I were to talk closely, I think this has well, similar quality, but even better. But we have it usually below, so it's not too loud and you cannot see it on screen. All right, that seems to be back at where it was. Okay, so I'm just doing a bit of housekeeping here. Let me take a look. And as a sort of warning, we're going to be doing more like web development and scripting. Today, we're not going to be doing machine learning. I don't think we'll have time. But it's good. I want to keep the topics sort of general, not narrowing down to only machine learning. All right, where is this? Okay. Sara Albadi. Well, welcome to the live stream. I don't understand Arabic. I guess we can translate that with Google Translate. But yeah, welcome to the channel. Nice to see you online. All right. What's going on here? So this live stream, I'm gonna show the topics in a second. So if you hold on for a sec, I'll be able to show you. All right. So let me see what I can do here to avoid taking too much time. All right, I'm close, really close. All right, just figured out what I was trying to fix. Great, okay. All right, awesome. Great. All right, I think I'm good to go. Cool. All right, let's get started. Hopefully that wasn't that bad of a wait. All right, so let's get started. We have some slides here and we're gonna see them right now. Okay, cool. Well, let's get kind of started now. So welcome again, everyone. So we're gonna get started now. I'm gonna talk about what topics we're gonna talk about. This is the Nono.MA live stream, and I would ask you, if you want to support the channel, you can like this video, and if you're not yet, you can subscribe to get notified when I go live next or when I upload new videos. Please do let me know on the chat or on the comments what you think about this video, about other videos, and about what I'm doing here. Your support is, you being the audience makes this project have a lot more sense, right? Like if there is no receptor of the content that I'm doing here, this whole thing doesn't make sense. So thanks a lot for being there, and I hope you get something out of it. You can join the community at Nono.MA Discord. There's a lot of people there already. If you want to find minds like yours, go there, say hi, introduce yourself if you feel comfortable doing so. And yeah, let us know what you're working on, what you want to learn. Last week, we covered making a file downloader. I made it in TypeScript. We made an RSS parser. So we read from Nono.MA/sketch.xml. We read that XML file and parsed it, got the URLs of many images, and then created an asynchronous queue with TypeScript that allowed us to download the files that way. Hopefully we can edit that and upload it as a separate video, but I do have a video that in the abstract talks about how to use that code, use the async queue to download files asynchronously, and you can choose how many you want to download at a time, 3, 4, 10, or 20 concurrently, right? Nono.MA/live/35 will take you to that video. An announcement. So I had a call last Friday with Cristobal Valenzuela, and it made it to episode 49 of the Getting Simple podcast, where I'm your host. And we talked about machine learning or machine intelligence, interfaces or creativity and originality. We talk about bias, the freedom of being a startup, runway, and many other things, right? Cristobal thinks that there is a need for new creative interfaces to control complex algorithms that focus on results and not on the technology, right? People don't really care about what we do here if they just want to use, for example, the camera on the iPhone to take a picture or a filter to apply to their photos, right? They just care about what the tool lets them do, not the technology behind the scenes. Only people like us that want to actually rewrite those algorithms or code them into our applications or into our projects care about the individual aspects. All right, so as I promised, well, you can send questions at gettingsimple.com/ask. I'll invite you to send a voice note. You can also send a message or also on Discord or whatever. Send me a question about the topics related to the podcast, and it might make it into a Q&A question episode. So today, as promised, these are the topics that we're going to cover today. I did prepare a good outline today, better than other times. We're going to learn how to create a Laravel app, how to make Laravel commands. I want to do also CSV parsing from Google Forms files. I want to create a dynamic view component, and I'll briefly explain what Laravel Folio is and how all of this framework makes it into Laravel Folio. I'm not sure if this is too long for one day. I might have to stop and continue later, or continue tomorrow, or continue another week as we do, or do some of these things offline. But hopefully we can get to some of this content. Before I recorded a video, I don't think it says here, yeah, on how to create a Google account. That's not something you probably care about, but we're gonna get started. So we're gonna get started with how to create a Laravel app, which I'm going to create a cover slide right now for how to create a Laravel app. All right, we already have this here, but maybe for some of these ones we can set it to be slightly bigger. How to create a Laravel app, and that's going to be the first thing we're going to see, and how to create a Laravel command, which is also going to go a bit bigger. All right, then later we have, we're gonna leave this one hidden because we're not gonna do this live. We have how to parse CSV data from Google Forms with Laravel. This maybe wants to be 75. And we want to put this one probably also at 75. All right, let's get started, shall we? Do you guys have any questions before I start diving into some of these things? I did do my homework and I created an outline for myself with some of the things that we're going to do today for Live 36. And yeah, this is not my account. I ended up creating this one. Oh, no, one, that one. All right. How to create a Laravel app. All right. So if you don't have any questions online, feel free to let them offline on the video comments. We're going to get started. Make sure I don't have too many things open here. And yeah, let's get started. And we'll record part by part, and I'll kind of come back to life, and we'll be able to discuss things as we go. Right, let me take a quick look just to make sure that the bitrate at which we're recording is good, because I'm not sure if I touch some of these settings. Is the video fluid? I'm gonna crank this up at 5000 kbps just because YouTube is complaining that the kbps I'm sending is a bit too low. It says good. Sometimes it says connection excellent. All right, good connection. Let's just move around a few things here just to make sure that this is working. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, so really good question, Sajid. So I want to build a few different pieces of software, right? Very minute jitter for every second or so. Okay, cool. So hopefully the stream score is lower than we recommend. Okay, let me take a look. Let me actually pay attention. All right, so this recommends me to crank the bitrate up a lot more than I have. So let's try, and I'll be looking at the comments, so please let me know if the video is low or something and you cannot see me. Okay, I'm gonna crank up the bitrate, but I'll be looking in here. Okay, so I cranked up the quality. I'm gonna wait until YouTube tell me that this is okay, and when it does, we'll get started. Okay, so to your question, thanks Odivius and Sajay for your questions, and Sarah. So I want to build a few different pieces of software. So one thing is that I want to record tutorials on this to put on YouTube, because I'm thinking of sharing some of the knowledge that I have with Laravel in building websites, so web apps that you can use to execute different things. Today specifically, we're going to try to create a Laravel app from scratch, then go into a made Laravel app and and add features, right? Like interactive components. So the purpose today is a few things. The first one is to learn how to create a Laravel app, how to create commands. So commands are kind of scripts that you run in Python or some other programming languages, but you'll be able to run them in PHP. So write those commands and then interact with whatever you want to do. A command, right? A command can read a file, save a file, upload things, make web requests, whatever you think of. It's just code in PHP. The command that I want to create is reading a CSV. So what we want to do is that we want to accept information from participants somewhere online. We just make a Google form, right? And I can actually show briefly the one that we're going to be using today. So if I go, right, that's not great. So forms. So let's say forms.google.com. So I have this form here, and this is a live sign up form that I'm gonna send your way so you can fill it in, and we'll be gathering some data, and this is just data to test. But what I'm trying to show today is like we can put together a form, we can send it to hundreds of participants, they can submit their information, and then we can download a CSV with all the information, and then we can use that to populate a database on a website and then display that information. And I want to display that information in two different views to generate like a list view and a grid view, right? So it would be something like if you wanted to have a database that is generated from Google Form data, and you will be able to toggle between this view, which is just a list, and this view, which is a grid, right? So that would be an interactive web component. So the process is, let's create a website, a command that loads information from Google Forms and converts that into database items, and then a visual component that renders that as a list, but also as a grid. And we can toggle between the list mode and the grid mode. Does that make sense, guys? Is that something that is that understandable? And I'll post the in case you want to try it out, I'm gonna post the link to this Google form in the chat so you guys can fill it in if you want, right? That you can put you can fill it however you want. It can be perfect or it can be just made up, whatever you want. I have my response already here, so we're gonna go through that. Okay, I'll stop for a second. Does that make sense? Is that something that you think is interesting? It's boring? And the outcome of this is that you folks and other people are going to be learning also some skills on web development, where you can later maybe serve your TensorFlow.js algorithms in this way, or custom websites, custom web components, and things like this. All right. Okay, glad to hear. That's interesting. Thanks, Adivius. Thanks, Ajay. So, okay, so let's get started. At least let's record the first one, which is pretty short, and then we can get going. And for those of you who are not used to this is a format in which I'm going to be recording a tutorial inside of the live stream. So I'll do an intro and then an outro, and then we'll continue live stream, and then we'll record another video. I am going to go to sleep. Yeah, so VBS, it's okay. I mean, I'm trying to see if I can find earlier times to do the live streams, and I think we should at some point do like a live QA, like some sort of Zoom meeting where we can all connect and switch on our webcams and have an informal chat. What do you guys think? Okay. Thanks a lot for your comments there. I think YouTube is telling me that this is excellent connection, so this might be better. I'm not sure, but all right, let me get some water and then we'll get started. All right, back now. Cool, awesome, and still waiting your Byte series. Yeah, so the Byte series, I'm not sure where I showed this, but let me see. I'm not sure if I even have it here. Yeah, this is not online, right? Yeah, I don't want to spoil too much, but we do have 2 episodes that have been already recorded, and one of the covers is this one, which is not downloaded here, and the other one doesn't seem to be downloaded here either, and is this one. Well, we'll show more soon, but yeah, the Byte series is coming soon. We're just on the process of editing a few episodes. All right, let's get started. Hi everyone, it's Nono here, and this is a quick video on how to create a Laravel app from scratch. Yeah, I won't spoil. All right, so why is this? Okay. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is that we're gonna go to our terminal and run a few commands, but we're going to open the Laravel site first, so you can see what Laravel actually is. Okay, Laravel is called the PHP framework for web artisans. I believe, at least in my personal opinion, right? Like a lot of people are used to the old PHP and people don't like the language. There's a lot of people who got used to developing WordPress and they don't like WordPress, but that doesn't mean that they don't like PHP. PHP has a lot more modern features that it used to have, and Laravel is one of the frameworks that I believe makes it shine again, right? You can read some of the documentation to know why Laravel exists, right? There are a lot of frameworks, but Laravel seems to be the best choice to build modern full-stack web applications, at least if you're doing it with PHP. It's progressive. You can just implement a few things. You don't need to use the entire thing. It's really scalable and it runs really well for production. If you want to get started, there's a lot of documentation online, but I'm just going to show you the basic commands. There's 2 things. One is Composer, which I already have installed, and you can go and install at composer.org or getcomposer.org. And here you have the installations on how to install it, so the instructions on how to install it and download it to your machine. And I already have that. And then through Composer, you can also install the Laravel app, which I have installed on my machine. There are 2 ways to create an application running Laravel. The first one is to use Composer. So we do Composer, create project, Laravel/Laravel, and then the name of our application. I'm going to do app with Composer. And that's going to create an application with the latest stable version of Laravel on our computer, which is in the folder that you can see here. And now what you can see here on the terminal is that it's going to be resolving the dependencies of Laravel, in this case, Laravel 8.5.20, and it's going to be installing them. This is similar to the Node package manager, right? Composer is the package manager of Laravel. It also allows you to create applications. And as you can see, all of this that was running here was installing different versions of these packages that Laravel needs to run. So we now have even encryption key set on our application, and we have a lot of packages that were auto-discovered. We're not going to look at the application yet. We're going to use Laravel to do the exact same thing. So this is different. So instead of create project with Composer, we run Laravel new app with Laravel. This is the name of the application that I'm created. And we see a slightly different visualization, but in the end of the day, we do the same thing. It pulls Laravel 8.5.20, and now it updates all of the required dependencies. After this happens, it also discovers some packages and generates a key, and it has one message that is a bit different, right? So now we have our two applications. So we have one that we've built with Composer and one we've built with Laravel. They're going to be really similar. I think if we look at the size, they're actually exactly the same. So the same amount of files, the same amount of bytes and megabytes. So either way, Laravel is a nicer helper, but you choose whatever you want to use for this. So I can go to the one that I built with Laravel, for example, and look at the directory so we can see what it's in there. And we can also list the one that we made with Composer. And we see, again, the contents are the same. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the one that we made with Composer, for example, and I'm going to move or rename the one that we made with Laravel to simply app. All right, invalid argument. Okay. All right, so we'll just remove it manually. So rename it manually. Cool. So now that we have this, I'm going to go into the app directory. I'm going to open it with Visual Studio Code, and we're going to take a look at how to run this Laravel application. So just to finalize, I hope that you enjoyed this video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This was a brief view on how to create a Laravel app, and you can watch the next video to see how to actually run it and expose it on your browser, either with PHP Artisan or with Valet. Thanks a lot for watching. It was Nono here, and I'll see you next time. All right, so that was video number 1, and that has to be edited separately. And this is like how to serve a Laravel app. Again, we're going to do an intro and we're going to continue from here. Hey, it's Nono, and this is a quick overview on how to serve a Laravel app. I'll recommend you to go and see my previous video, that is how to create a Laravel app, to see how we got to where we're going to get started with this video. All right. So we already have a Laravel application here. So we have the minimum amount of files that we'll get when we run the Laravel new app or the Composer create project Laravel/Laravel and the name of our application, right? We have a series of files here that we have opened on Visual Studio Code. We have a series of files that we've opened on Visual Studio Code, and that we're going to say that yes, we trust the authors because we actually created this project. And I'm going to make sure that I explain a bit what's going on here. When you have a Laravel application, right, you don't even need to edit or to open the code editor, but this would be the files that you have here. And what we will do to execute this application is to go to the app directory that we've created and then run, let me make this a bit bigger, and we'll then run the PHP, right? So once we're in the directory of the application that we just created, that we can verify with ls or list, we can run the PHP Artisan serve command. This is going to tell us that a development server has been started on our machine, this URL, so we can open that on our browser of choice, and we see a new installation of Laravel on our machine, right? This is the default page, and all of these links bring you to different sponsor websites and documentation websites, and we could edit these directly, right? We're gonna see another way of serving this application. That's through PHP Artisan serve. So this is a serving command. You could also specify a different port here if you want it. So we can specify this one, for instance, and then open that, and it will be available in our browser. But what we're gonna do now is use something different. So I have something called Valet that it's installed here in version 2.15.3, Laravel Valet, which you can see if you Google for Laravel Valet, is a library to have a development environment on Mac, which allows you to automatically configure engines and blocks in custom domains, right? You can see here this asterisk .test domain, which is the one that we're going to use, or that Laravel is going to allow us to use to expose our applications. So if I go again to my terminal, I could do something to take a look at what things are linked on my machine. So if I do Valet links, right, and let's make this a bit smaller so you can read it. All right, so when we run, so we could run Valet links to see all of the things, or all the websites that are linked, or the web applications that are linked on my machine for testing development environments, right? So I have app.test, burns.test. I have many different websites here, like my website included here is a mirror of my website, but on my local host. So I can go here to Nono.test, and then you'll see a mirror of my site. And you know, we could say that I can go to that other application, for instance, and run the PHP Artisan serve, and then we'll get my own website exposed at that given port, right? So that works. So with Valet, we were saying that we can go, so let's do, once we're in an application directory, we can see Valet links. So our application is not listed here, but we can do Valet link. Valet link will automatically link your website with the name folder followed by the .test domain name, right? So you can see that it linked to users Nono desktop app. But we can also create custom links. So we can say Valet, and let me make this big again. So we can make Valet link and then maybe live, right? That means that we can now open HTTP and then live.test, and then we'll have our application running on a custom domain that we've set up here. So this is a quick overview on how to serve a Laravel application with Valet or with PHP Artisan commands. And there are many cool features, right? So if you go to Laravel Valet, you can see that there is a share command that allows us to share through ngrok. So let's try that one. So Valet share, and this is going to give us what's called an HTTP tunnel, that is a URL that anyone could use from their computer and access our website through the internet. So let me see if there's something that we don't have installed here. Right, so apparently, I mean, there's something failing, but this should work. So if any of you that is watching this online were to open this page, and I'm gonna post this, and I'm gonna try to post this on the live channel, you should be able to see this or whatever it is that I put on my home page of the application. So I'm going to go here and change something. So the welcome view. Right, so if we change this text now, you should see that as well. All right, so this is just a way in which you can create what's called an HTTP tunnel, and you could send this URL to anyone, and through the internet they'll access your machine and they would access the website that you're looking at. All right, so I'm going to stop this now and finish this part of the video. Well, thanks for watching. This was a quick video on how to serve a Laravel app with PHP artisan commands and with the Valet library. I hope you enjoyed it or you learned something from this. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. All right. We got these two recorded. I think that's okay. As promised, I'm gonna put the links here. So Laravel Valet, right, and get composer. Cool. Okay, so we have our application there. It seems like the live stream quality is good. Huh? And maybe we can make this a bit bigger. Right, so let's take a look at our roadmap. So we've done these things, how to create a Laravel command, and all right. Okay, so let's let me go drink some water really quickly, and we're gonna continue in a second. So I have, let me customize this thing. All right, so this is a quick break. I'll be back in a brief second. All right, we're back from the break. So I'm here and we're gonna continue. So let's see what we record next. How to create a Laravel command. All right. Hi everyone, it's Nono here, and this is a video on how to create Laravel commands. These are little scripts or little programs, little functions that you can code in Laravel and then run with the console, or even automate as schedule jobs or in any other environments. Let's get started. So I have here an empty Laravel app that we have created. There is a previous video that shows how to create a Laravel app with Composer or with Laravel, and how to run this or how to serve it with Laravel Valet or with the PHP artisan serve command. So what I'm gonna do now is open these applications. I'm gonna go and cd into this application, and I'm going to open the application with Visual Studio Code. So once we have Visual Studio, we can see the route of our application, right? So this is the app folder, and we have all of these folders, which for now we're not going to try to understand a lot. We're just going to take a look at here that we have the routes, and this page or this folder contains API routes, channels route, the console routes, and then the web routes. The web routes we might see in a separate video, right? But for now, we're not going to touch them. And we're going to pay more attention today to the console file. This console PHP file inside of the route folder of your app is going to be the one that defines all of your Laravel commands. You can see here that we already have a sample command that comes with every Laravel application that you create. And the first thing we're going to do to understand how to create our own custom commands is to run the one that comes by default. So I'm going to get my console above here, and I'm going to use the PHP Artisan tool, right? If we run here PHP Artisan, we're going to get first the version of the Laravel framework that we're running, and then we're going to get the options we can run and all the available commands, right? When you see these commands, every single command that is here is written in a similar form to what we can write, but created through different applications, not specified on the console.php page, right? And let's take a look. So the first thing is that you could run many of these commands, and on a previous video we run the serve method that you can see, for example, here, that is inside of the default available commands. And so we try running that one, so we can do PHP Artisan serve. This is a command that just creates or starts a development server running in localhost where you can use your application. So again, if we go to our PHP Artisan, we can see listed here above on the default commands this inspire command that says display an inspiring quote. If we take a look at this file, that's actually what these 3 lines do. So it defines a new command that is called inspire. It calls this inspiring quote function, and then the purpose or the description that shows up in here is what's written in the purpose field, which is display an inspiring quote, right? You can see it below here. If we were to change this thing, for example, Nono.MA live, now we run this again, or we actually just grep it and do this, right? We see that now that description has changed. So what we're going to do now is create our own custom command. We're going to leave this one as it was. And well, let's first execute this command, right? So we're going to do PHP Artisan inspire, right? So this command is the sample command, and for it not to be boring, what they did is that this function prints different quotes that are inspirational quotes. And I think this is a really cool feature, right? That to have on an application as a hello world, right? Let's read the first one. Simplicity is an acquired taste. Catherine Yerold. All right, let's go back again into our console file. You can see there's a few things that are being loaded here. We're loading the foundation inspiring command, which we could take out because we don't really need. We're going to define now our own custom command, and we're going to retype this to create our own custom command. So we're going to do artisan command, and then we'll say it's talk, and then we'll do function, and the purpose is going to be print a greeting from Nono's live stream, right? So this command doesn't do anything, and if we do PHP Artisan, we're going to see it listed now here. So there is this new doc command that we didn't have before that is here now, and that has the description that we just created, print a greeting from Nono's live stream, right? So we can run the command, so we can execute here PHP Artisan talk, and nothing really happens. The command executes, but it's empty. What we can do here is say this info, and then actually give some greeting. Hello from Nono.MA live. right? And we just put this here, we run the command again, and now we're getting that, right? And what you could do here is anything, right? You could process anything here. You could do, for example, A equals 3 and B equals 10, and then you could say info result is, and now we just do here A plus B, right? So now we print, and now we see that result is 13, right? So that works. What we can do now, and this is the only thing we're going to do before we continue with these tutorials and do other advanced things, is try to understand how to add variables to these commands, right? Like, can we put parameters into these commands? So to remove this part from the video, just a reminder, this is editing. I'm just going to take a look at as a reference command that I have on a custom package. And I'm just going to try to see how I was using the variables. I think I should be able to do this easily. So argument ID. Let's just try this here. So if you want to know how to develop more advanced commands, you can go to Laravel.com on the docs on the Artisan console section, and there's a lot of documentation here on how to develop your commands further. All right, and what we're gonna do now to add a parameter to our command is call the command greet, and we're gonna put a name whom we're greeting, right? So we'll just add our parameter name here. Okay, let me just put this so you don't see the error below. Now we're going to rename our command to greet, and we're going to add the name argument that we also have to add as a parameter on our function, and we're going now to greet a person with that command. So we will run the command as PHP artisan greet and maybe like something like Sajid, right? And we now can put here hello, and then we do name, hello Sajid, this is Nono.MA live. All right, and now we're gonna print that and see. So we're gonna execute the PHP artisan greet command with this name argument to Sajid. Right, so now this says hello Sajid, this is Nono.MA live, and we could also put some symbols like this and add a last name, Kumarjit. Right, and this is it. So we can now say PHP greet and say DVS, and we could also do greet DVS, or we could do artisan greet Sarah or artisan greet Bea. So in a nutshell, this is how you can build a really simple command. One last tweak that we can do is clone this thing and make maybe an add function or a multiply function. So for example, we could say A and B. So we'll do here A and B, and we'll return the solution. So we'll do return A plus B. And then here we'll put adds two numbers, right? So we'll go here, we'll see on PHP Artisan, we'll see our command listed as adds 2 numbers, and we'll just do PHP Artisan add, and maybe we do 100 and 200, and then we get 300 here. All right, so that was a quick view of how to create custom Laravel commands that you can execute on your computer. And in future videos, we're going to see more advanced commands that will read CSV files, write text to files, and then also read file text. Thanks a lot for watching. It was Nono here, and I'll see you next time. I'll invite you to take a look at my other Laravel videos to learn how to create a Laravel app, how to read CSVs, how to serve your application, and many, many other things. Bye. All right. Cool. So now we need to parse CSV data from Google Forms with Laravel. This is a bit more intricate. I think we could divide this in two or not. I mean, we already have the form. Are Laravel commands that your developer is similar to functions and methods? Yes, they're exactly PHP methods that you see here. So this is we're passing a function here, and like maybe something I didn't explain and we could add to the video is when you call this, we're actually calling something called the let's actually recap on that. That's such a good question, Sajay. So just as a quick recap, what is happening here in terms of PHP is that we're loading the Illuminate support facades Artisan, right? So this is the Artisan facade of the Illuminate package, which is one of the foundation packages of Laravel. So we have this Artisan class, and what we're actually doing here is that we're using the Artisan class, we're calling the command, right? Like that's actually the command method of the Artisan class. And then we're passing 2 parameters. Parameter 1 is the signature of our command, and the second one is the function. And that's it. That's all we need to define a command. But it's good practice to also pass here a purpose with the description of what our method does, right? So effectively, this could be the signature of our command, or this one another one. This is a function that we have here, and then this defines the purpose of the given command. So yeah, thanks a lot for that question. That will make it into the video. It's a great question, and I'll add it there. Okay, let's continue. So hi everyone, it's Nono here, and this video is a continuation of the series with Laravel, how to create your own application, how to create your own commands, how to serve your apps, and many, many other things that you should check out on my Laravel playlist. This video specifically talks about how to parse CSV data, in this case from Google Forms, with Laravel. So we're going to create a command in Laravel that is going to read a CSV that we've downloaded from Google Forms, where we gather data from a server from many different participants, and we're going to read it in Laravel. So we'll read the contents of that file, we'll parse the CSV into PHP data, and then we'll do something with it to populate a database. And then later in the next or future video, we'll display that on a web view with a view component that is dynamic and can be switched between list and grid. Not on this video, on a separate video. All right, let's get started. We have an application here at Laravel which already had some commands, but we're going to override them. If you don't know anything about Laravel command, please go back to my video on how to create your own custom Laravel commands, and you'll understand what's in here. So for now, I'm going to remove all of this, just leave a scaffold of a new command. So we're just going to create here a command that is going to be, let's call it read CSV, or maybe read CSV, that is easier to read. And then we'll put here the path of the file, and then we'll have a function that gets that parameter, that path, and the purpose is to read or like import Google Form responses CSV file. Import CSV maybe better. we're going to clean this up. So we're going to leave our console.php file pretty clean. And here we're just going to print to know that this is working. So we'll print here importing, and then we'll put here the path of the file. Right, so if we and then inside here we'll just do print a message that will say importing and the name of this or the path of this file. All right, so just to test that that works, right now it's not going to do anything. We're just going to make sure I'm in the application, and we're going to do PHP artisan import CSV, and then my path could be, for example, users Nono desktop file.csv, and we'll just get a message saying we're importing this file. Nothing is being done yet, but we're going to get started with that. Cool. Okay, so let me do another quick little break instead of stopping recording. Let's just make another quick break, and we're going to continue recording. Please don't stop the questions coming or the comments. That makes the live so much better. Okay, I'm here once again, and we're going to get to continue where we were. So now we have the scaffolding code of our command, right? Now we need to sort of pseudocode this, right? So first here we're saying print that we're importing, right? So that's the first thing we're doing. So now what we need to do is read contents of file, parse contents as CSV. So parse, okay, let's do again. Parse the CSV contents, and then display the data, format data, and store data on our database. All right, so this is kind of what we need to do, and I'm going to explain a bit how we're going to be doing it. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our Google Forms page. So that's at forms.google.com. It will take us to this URL. And I already have this sample sign up form. I would invite you guys that are on the live stream, so while I'm recording this tutorial, to fulfill this survey if you want. So we'll use your data for this video. So I'm going to put that on. So I've put this link on the live stream chat in case that you guys want to add your information and fill in the survey as I'm filling it as well, and we'll use that data. So I did send some example data here. You can do the same, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to fill this in once again, just to make sure that we have some more data. We don't have just one. So I'm going to put here this link. All right, so what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to be filling in this survey with you to make sure that you understand the process that I'm following. I've created a custom form using the Google Form editor, right? We can click here and edit this form. At the bottom, you can see that if I'm the author of this form, we'll get this button at the bottom right? And this is going to allow us to edit the form. If we click there, we're going to go here where, we can change the name of the parameters, and we can change specific things, or we can also add new fields. So for example, I could add a new field, and here we have a question like, what's your favorite food, for instance, right? And then it's just a short answer. But we could also do like multiple choice or check boxes, right? So for example, we could do what name, or like what color do you prefer, and we could do here like red, blue, or green, right? And after we do this, we can go back to our form, update, and now we have that as a selectable, right? Like something that we can put here, like for example that. All right, so I'm going to go back and leave the form as it initially was. I'm going to click here, and I'm going to delete this field, and we're going to go back to our form. All right. Cool. So we're going to fill in this form. So we're going to put here, for example, Lex Friedman maybe, and we'll put a location. I don't really know where he is. Oh well, actually, let's say Cambridge, Massachusetts. If it's MIT, maybe we can grab a bio. So we'll just grab a bio from here. We'll add it here. And this would make it for the short bio. So we'll do here Lex Friedman. We'll get this profile pic, and we'll add the file. So we'll put this one here and upload. And for links, we'll put here lexfriedman.com and lexfriedman.com/podcast, right? So we submit that, and once that's submitted, then we'll get a notification on our email saying like, oh, somebody filled in your survey. Now you can see their responses. So now I come here on this form, and if I go to responses, I can see two different responses, the one I did and the one that I did for Lex Friedman, right? If we go to individual, we can see each individual response, right? 1 out of 2 and 2 out of 2. Lex Friedman, Nono Martinez Alonso. So for the people who are online, are you going to send some information here? I just want to know. I can wait, or maybe we can retrieve the information later as well. All right, so here what you will do is that you will come here. So let's see again. So we have this page with our form, and we'll come here to these three dots, and we'll go to download responses, right? So we download the responses as a CSV, right? That's the format we want, is comma separated values. We click here, and as we click on the bottom left of my screen, I see that that file was downloaded. I can then open this on Visual Studio Code, or actually I could visualize it with Finder, so you can see the information is actually like an Excel sheet. So it has the name of the cells at the top, the headers, and then it has the different values. And if we go here, we see the timestamp, your name, your location, and bio. And if we go to the Visual Studio Code file, we just have comma separated values, right? This is one value, and there's a comma, and blah blah blah. So the first row that we see, there are three rows. The first row represents the header, and then subsequent rows represent the values, right? So nobody is telling us that we could not just add one new row here and say like sample John Boston, right? And now even when we preview this here, you see that the header has changed, and I've added a new row here. So we're gonna leave it as it was. So we're just gonna put this as it was. This is the original file, and now we have our file. So we're gonna put this file on the desktop. So we're going to take that file from our downloads to the desktop, and we're gonna leave the name that it has, I think, or maybe not. Let's just rename it. So we'll first rename this file. So this is like my form.csv, for example, and then we can do PHP Artisan import CSV, and then we'll do users Nono desktop form.csv. That's the command that we're going to be running, right? And the first thing we could do, let's try to see if the file exists. I think we can do that. So file, or let's actually do file get. So we do file get path, and we say that these are my contents, and I think we can print the contents of the file. So we do that. Yeah, so we're reading the contents of this file with these lines. So we do file get path, and that stores on the contents variable the value, and then with these info contents we're printing them to the console. So we already have the contents of the file. Now we need to parse them into a PHP object from those comma separated values. And the cool thing is that we'll be able to later replace the form.csv file and have this application work the same way. Right. So this is to be kept out of the video. I know that, yeah, there is like a custom, like a string separator. All right, so let's see what this does, right? So if we dump and we do string get CSV contents, let's just try that out. All right, right. So that's cool. Okay, so what this does is good, but we need to actually get the lines of the file. So all right, so if we quickly go to use something called Tinker, where we can use a dynamic repo of Laravel. So I'm gonna do here Tinker. So we have, and this, so you see, is this command, so PHP Artisan Tinker. We open a repo of PHP where we can do things like, I don't know, like just run execute PHP code and then get something returned, right? So there is this, I think this command, right? Like if we do 1, 2, 3, if we do comma separated values with this one, it just gives us the actual values, right? So the different values on the CSV. And if we do dump, we actually see that those are indexed. It's just an array, right? So what we can do with this function, string get CSV, is that for each line of our CSV, so for example, if we had like the headers, name, location, and image or something, then we'll be able to get those. And then for values of a person, so for example, Nono, Malaga, and then Nono.jpg or something, we would be able to also get that. And we know that, if we dump both of them, this one, that would be 0, 1, 2 will match with 0, 1, 2 of name, location, and image. So what we can do is, so we do file get, and then we get our file that is on the desktop, and it's called form.csv, right? So that would be the first thing. That's our file. So now we'd say, okay, that's my, let's say, my contents of the file. Now we have to explode that with the n parameters. Or, oh, we actually left the repo. All right, so let's do that again. So now we have to use, for example, the explode function, right? And then run it on the contents. And now what we see is that we get one item on the array per line in our CSV file, right? So this is good. So that would be, if we do this, we'll say lines, explode, blah, blah, blah. And then we have the lines. So for example, you could say, okay, give me the first line and actually get the CSV of that first line, right? And then of the second, and then of the third. Right, so then we got it. And then we have, for each of the values, we have the matching property. We can say now here, so we could do that here. So we have the contents, and what we want to do now is the lines. So we do explode by line, our contents, and then for each line, right, for each lines line, we can print the, or actually, I don't know if we can do that. We'll just dump it. So we'll dump the string get CSV line. All right, so we don't need this anymore. And this would be like maybe this info, and then we can say line I, and we can do I equals 0, I plus plus, and we close that here. All right, so let's run this. Let's run our command on the CSV form. Right, so now we have here line 0, it's our headers from 0 to 6. Line 1 is the first participant, and then line 2 is the second participant. And if we had more on our Google Forms, we would be able to also read their information, which we do. All right, so Sajay Kumarji, thanks a lot for collaborating with this video. So what we're gonna see is, and we'll see the information later, so we download the responses, we get this file, we get the form, and then we put it on desktop, we replace it, and now really instantly, if I rerun, the last person is Sajay, right? Sajay is an architect. Hi, no, I'm an architect and a consultant. Awesome. And we have even an image, right, that we can open here. And you're signed in. All right. I think I might need access to that folder from my other email address. All right. So I think I can do that. All right, and I think I should share the entire folder. All right, just 1 second. We're almost there. All right, I think we should have access now. Awesome. Jacob Margie. Cool. This is pretty cool. Now we have access to everyone's images. So for example, we see the summary. We have access to all of the images here, only me because I am one of the owners and editors of the form. It's not everyone who's going to be having access to these resources, right? That would be a breach of confidentiality. All right. So we have this thing here and it seems to be working. So we're going to keep going with the code. We said here that we wanted to parse the CSV contents, which seems to be what we are doing here. Read contents of file and parse CSV. All right, so we do this. So let's do here maybe parse CSV lines. Awesome. So we now have that. We display the data with this dump, and now we need to format it. We just have the indices, so I guess we could hard code it for now. So if we print that again, right, like we know that these indices are here, we could probably just hard code them for now. We don't really need to do anything more fancy. So we're going to comment that out, we're going to edit, and we're going to just do this. All right, so this is our data, and what we could actually do is go per line and do something a bit cooler, which is like what we said before, display data. And we're going to do that here. And now what we could do is that if I is 0, we're going to continue, and we're going to ignore the first line. So, oh, sorry. Okay, so maybe let's just do this. Okay, for now, we'll just do that. So we get line 1, line 2, and 1, 3. And what we can do now, because we know what's on each of these things, we could say, okay, info, and now do line 1, so we get the names only. Cool. All right, so line all right, so what we need to do now is so these are the different form. So values, right? So our values are going to be a string get CSV from the line, and what we'll get is from the values, number 1 is the name. All right, so we got that working. We don't need this thing, so we'll just do that. Put clear here. Great, so now we're importing, and maybe we can make this a comment so it's a different color. Awesome. So now we're importing here different participants, and we could, for instance, just plot their location next to their names, and that's it. Values, and then we see here location is 2, and that's it. Right, so this gets us going. We can already do something with this, and now we need to store data on our database. So so this sort of covers all right, this covers how to parse your CSV data from Google Forms, or really from any source, with Laravel, right? We've loaded the file, we've divided it in lines with PHP functions, and then we've parsed every single line as a CSV, and then we have the individual values of each of the participants that submitted information to this form, and then we downloaded that file as a CSV. On the next video, we're going to see how to use that information to populate a database, so to create items on a database with Laravel. And later on in another video, we'll see how to display that visually on a website. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time, and hopefully you keep going with this list and let me know what you think about it. All right, so I think this is good for this part of the video, and we're gonna make another part, and I'm gonna record separately, and maybe we have another cover which is like loading CSV data to load CSV data to a database with Laravel. Load CSV data to load CSV data to a database with Laravel. All right, so this is going to be the title, and we're going to start recording now. Hi everyone, this is a continuation of the Laravel series on how to create your app, how to create custom commands, how to read a CSV, and now we're going to see how to store the CSV data that we obtained on the previous video in a database with Laravel. All right, let's get going. We are on the same spot where we left it on the previous video, so you can go watch the previous videos if you don't know how we got to where we are. And what we're going to do now is we already have a way to, we have a command that lets us import a given CSV from a path. We have this file here on the desktop, and we're going to now continue, right? So we get the contents of the file, we explode the content with this symbol that means break it into lines. Then we see that the data for each of the rows in the CSV has this structure. So we have the individual components, the timestamp, and your name and your location being one. You can see it here, right? So this is the structure of that CSV file. And so we can move here, and then we display the data, right? We're like breaking those values here per line, and then we display them on screen. So for now, what we can do is that we can run that command. So PHP artisan import CSV and the path, we run it, and then it says importing that file, and we print the name and the location of each participant, right? So what we're going to do now to continue is we're going to make another loop like this one, but now instead of displaying the data, we're going to be storing it on a database. And we could actually do that here as well, but we're going to keep it separate for now. So we're printing here, and maybe what we can do is, by looking at this list here, is just assign a variable to each of our values or parameters on the form, right? Maybe one thing that we can do, one cool thing here is that if I can click Command P and then put the caret, right? So we can run this command that says transform to lowercase, and when I click that, you see that everything changes to lowercase. And maybe, you know, I can even go one step farther, but yeah, we can do this manually. So we can do this, and because we have the index here already, I'm going to assign this to values and then the index, and then that's it. So we can do this as well, and now we'll just have to edit a few names. So here, location, bio, this is a short bio, image, and links. All right, so we can remove this part, and then we have all these values. So these are all values, right? We can test this by printing. So we can do here this info and then the timestamp, and maybe we get also the name, and again, as before, we get the location. So let's take a look. Yeah, this seems to be working. There's something weird there. All right, so we're actually printing this twice. So let's make here a spacing. So we do here new line, I think, maybe, yeah. And we're gonna remove this here. We don't really need the timestamp. Okay, yeah, so we're getting the same thing in both places. This means that this is working, and what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna use a framework that I have open source myself, have been developing for many years. It's called Laravel Folio. This framework is the framework behind my website, Very Simple Websites, and many other websites that are online and that you can check and that you can use on your own sites. It runs Laravel and it's open source, right? Really quick thing that I wanted to do, and this is to remove from the video. I'm going to activate something that I was doing today. Right, and I'll have to remember to remove that later. But what this is doing is that it's putting this thing here to tell people that I'm live. So if you go to my site now, you'll see this thing, and if you click, it should take you to this video. Awesome. Okay, and I'll have to remind myself to take that off later. All right, so Folio, and what I was saying is that we're using Folio here, and you know, I'm not gonna get into details how this is used or anything, but just I'm gonna say that we have a database behind this website. That is some database behind here. I think is this one, and we're just going to be creating folio items. So these are entries on a database that will you know, we have our application here. You can see on a previous video how we put the application to be running in there. And let me actually, this is to remove as well. So this is to remove from the video. Okay, and we can continue here, I guess. All right, so I already have an application that is empty, right? That is here is running, and it has a few things on the database. So what I'm trying to do is actually to populate this participants list, which I made that is fake, with the information that we were showing before, right? So the idea is, if this database, for example, I put here James Caan second, right? Like this will show up in here. So it's a dynamic database that we can put, and we can put here Nono test, and that will show here, right? So the idea is, let's try to make new items to appear here and display them on the same page. So for that, I'm going to first all right, what am I gonna do? So I'm gonna go here, and the only thing how maybe I can explain a bit with Laravel Tinker how this works. So if I were to run Tinker here, so Laravel Tinker is like the PHP repo, I can create new Laravel items, right? If I run item, let me see, where am I? Yeah, so this application actually doesn't have folio, as I was mentioning before. So let's take this out and ignore this part, so we can continue here. So, and what we need to do to keep going with this part is that we need to go to an application that actually has folio running that I prepared for this video, and we're gonna open it as well with Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code, in this case, will have our folio application, and we can also open our console.php file as we were doing before, and we'll go to the bottom of this and paste our work in progress command, right? All right, so we're gonna go to the other application, and what I'm gonna do quickly is simply go copy this new command and copy it to the other application. So now in this application, we can test that the same command that we were running here, which is, well, that one runs on the other app. All right, so it's working, so we can close this application. Cool, so we have this working, and what I wanted to show you is that if I run Laravel Tinker here, we can actually use the item class, right? So item, new item. All right, so let's maybe remove that part. So we can use here the item class, which is a class that is, as you can see here, defined inside of Nono.ESP folio models item. And this class, every time we create an item, we have an item with its own properties. So we can do here item and then print the item, right? Maybe item title, which probably is null. And if we create a new item and actually add properties to it, we can save it, and that will create a new entry on our database, and that will show on this website. So let's take a look and test that to do it manually. All right, so the first thing is I want to do a new actual item that we're going to start from scratch. So item is new item, and then we have that, right? So you can print the new item. So if we dump the item, we actually see all of the properties. So you can see that the properties here have title, text, and many other things, right? And what we're gonna do is that we're gonna say, okay, my item's title is Nono test 01, and I'm directly going to go and save that. So I save that, it says true, and that doesn't show up here for some reason. Let's exit. I'm not sure if that's because I'm not running on the application itself. Let's take a look at the database that we have configured here. Yes, all right. So what we can do to test it in a different way is, while we're connected here, so artisan command create item, for instance, function, and then we'll do item equals new item, item save. And here we can say, okay, my title is going to be new test Nono.01. All right, so now we run the PHP Artisan create item command that runs, and that doesn't show up here. Why not? Let's go to the database. Maybe we need to have other parameters that are not accounting with here. I'm not too sure. Oh, okay. I know what's going on. So this is working, but we need to go back because the default database is not set properly locally. So let's go back, and I might have to cut this part myself. We'll just go to the environment file, and this doesn't need to go on the video. So to make that clear, I'll just, well, yeah, doesn't go on the video. Cool. So I'm going to change the default database to this one. And now we're able to run this command. So I'm going to do tinker. Yeah, so now we can do this part where we define a new item. We say that the new item title is Nono test 01. We can even define, for example, the text, but we're not going to do that right now because I think, well, let's do it. Sample text. Let's see if that works. And now we'll do item save. You can see that if I don't run the save command, right, that doesn't show up here yet. But if I run it, then this is actually showing up here. This might fail. We don't have, okay, so it's an empty post. Let's put, for example, the publication date to today, and I go back there. So this comes up, and now I'm going to say Nono test item. All right, Nono test item. Cool. So let's take a look at what goes on with the title. So what we can do with Laravel, so we can do, for instance, item all, right? And then I get a list of all of the items. So I could say, okay, items all, and then the first one, and then maybe get its title, right? My home title. Or we can find by item ID. So this is item 9, and I can do here, so we do item, find number 9, and then get the title, which I set to Nono test 01, right? So we have that working here. It's Nono test item, but I set it internally to Nono test 01. I think that might be because of the app. Let's try this one, set local and English, and now get the title. All right, now we're getting this title because the system has support for Spanish and English, and this is getting a bit confused. So let's make the entire thing once again to try. So item is going to be new item, and now we're going to set the title to something new, and now we're going to save it, right? So there's going to be item 10, and it's here at the bottom, but now it does show the something new text. All right, so this is good. We can create items. This is what I wanted to test. And now what we need to do is go to our actual command and create a command that is going to create the one item per participant. So we're going to be here. We're going to do, all right, we don't need this anymore. And just to make sure I don't forget, we're going to work only in English. So we're going to set the app set local to English. So we localize everything just to English. And in here, we're going to create a new item per participant on the Google form. So let's maybe move this so you can see better. So it's going to be like item is going to be new item, and the item title is going to be the participant's name, and we're just going to save it. And we're going to see a lot. Well, maybe let's do tags string is going to be participant, and we're gonna do retag with item tags string to make sure we have the tags, and then we can retrieve all of the items that are participants later. All right, so we don't see anything else here, but we're gonna run this command. So we're gonna exit here and run our create item, nope, read the CSV form. All right, so we do that, then we get an error. Of course, we're live. Column taggable ID cannot be null. Taggable ID, tagging tag, tag slag. All right, let's debug. Oh, we have to save before we retag. Okay, I forgot that. And do we need to specify? All right, cool. So let's remove this part. So we actually need to retag after we save the item and it's created on the database. So we're going to run this command. Now this works. And we can see when we update that we have below here, we have the 3 new items. And actually, if I rerun them, we're going to get 3 more, right? So we're duplicating. But as you can see, if I open here, there's nothing, there's no text. I don't think this is where there's something failing there, property n of null. All right, so we actually need to have some text, at least if empty. So we'll do item, I think text, something like that. Maybe let's actually use the bio and rerun this command. All right, so now we can see the latest participants here, and that now works. All right, so we have the tags here. We have the login bio as the text, and then the title as the name of the person. And the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to make sure that we remove all existing participants before we create new ones. That way we won't have repeating participants in this app. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, my participants are all the items with any tag that is going to be participant, right? And then we get those, and then we maybe print the quantity. So count participants, right? So we're going to do that. That's going to be the first thing we do. So we're going to comment this out or remove it. And yeah, we do that. So we have 14, and you can see that we keep creating. So there are more here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to delete them. So we're going to go and say, okay, for each participant as participant, we're going to say participant, force delete, and that's it. And we actually need to delete the participants versions and all their stuff. So I'm going to copy some code that I have here before I do that. Delete items. So I actually have a helper function already. So I'm going to go down to participants. And just to tell you, so this is a delete item function, and participant, I'm just going to remove the participant, right? And I remove some code I didn't need to remove. So I just put this here. And if we go to the delete item function, right, what we provide here is an item. So we have one of those items we showed. We go for all of the properties that are existing. That would be the properties that we add to this menu, right? Like we can add multiple properties here. So we'll remove all of those. Then we'll remove all the versions on the system, and then we'll remove the tags and also the item itself. So let's try that out and see that we're doing this right. So we do that, and then there are 35 of them, but now if we run again, there were only 3, and there will only be 3 as long as we keep doing this way, right? So this is a lot cleaner now, and we've actually, the funny thing is that we've also removed all the participants that we had before that I showed here, right? That you can see here, we removed them because we also had them tagged as participants. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna copy this text just in case that we'll use it later to create fake participants. And let's see. All right, so this one we can maybe do a new CSV. All right, we'll just leave this here, participants stub on the desktop. So this doesn't need to go on the video. And all right, so if we update now our participants view, we don't really have anything. And I'm not sure why. All right, and this, because this collection is getting the participant collection show all, and all right, and maybe we need to set the item, so the published ad as the current date. So we'll run this once again, and now we get the participants, right? So we get this view with the participants. We don't get the images anywhere, but we have the participant information. So there are no more responses here. So I'm just going to submit 1 or 2 more, so we see more information on the form itself. Let's see. All right, so Peter Jones, or like Maggie Smith, and the location would be Madrid, Spain, for instance, right? And Lorem Ipsum. So this would be the long bio, right? So we have the, oh, all right. So I go to preview, and yeah, it's gonna be Madrid, Spain, that one, an image, Stallion fake, somebody that doesn't exist, this person, maybe Maggie Stallion can be a last name, and we'll add a file. So we'll put this file here, and the next thing we're gonna do is just put here maybe a link. All right, so we submit that. So now we have 4 pieces of information in our form. I can go here and see that that's been submitted, and I can now download the responses, and we just have to replace that form that we have on the desktop with this one. So I go to the desktop, place it, and now when I rerun my command, so let's make this bigger. When I rerun my command, now you see there's somebody else on the list, and that actually is indeed updating here as well. So this is a start, but I want to make this a bit more complete, and this one maybe we can remove. All right, and now we have this information here. What we're gonna do next, now that we have this working, is that for each participant, right, like every time that we change, we make the participant, right, like we, for example, I can go here and I have the participant there. You can see this is item 59. We're not going to optimize now to keep the numbers. These are deleted and new ones are created afterwards. So you can see that here. So if I create again, you can see now that this is 63, right? That's not great, but it's how it's going to work right now. And what I want to do is that we're going to also add some properties, right? So we have some code to do that here. We can create the properties, set property value, right? So what we will do here is that we'll also set a few property values for these things. So we'll do, for example, item, set property value, and maybe we can say, okay, your location is location. So when we run this command, now we have a new field that is not there. 1 second. All right, same error than before. So let's take this out. We set the, all right, so what we're gonna do is that also after we save the item, so we're gonna do set property value, and we're gonna set the location property to location, right? So we rerun this command. Oops. All right, so after we rerun this command, we can go to an item, and now we can see that there is a location with the value of the actual location from the form that we had remotely, right? So what this allows us to do now is to store all of the values from the Google form inside of our property values, right? So we can have here everything that we said before. So we can say, okay, now we have these things here, so we can do, and maybe let's take this to another file to edit it faster. So I'm gonna do here. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna set all of this, like that, property value, and item. Yeah, okay, so all right, so I think, yeah, and we don't really need this. So for this, we'll just set this like that, and for this, we'll just set this like this. And maybe this is short bio. Okay, this is a mistake here. All right, so we paste this here. So now we're setting all of these properties. Maybe we can respect a bit we're respecting the name, the order of the form. And now I'm gonna run this. And when we go back here, we have, like, for example, here we have all of the properties as individual properties here, right? So now I can go to my participant list, and I can see that this already populates on the proper place, right? Because I had that convention on my template where we get the name here, the bio, the location, and the time, which right now it's non-existent. And yeah, so that adds kind of the support for what we wanted to do with this video. So we have all of the parameters that we just downloaded from the CSV file we've loaded here, and we can see that if we were to change here anything from this form, or even make maybe additions, right, like John Stilgan or Peter Peter King, right? So we can change cities here, Barcelona, or like Almeria or something, Granada. All right, so we have these things. Hey, Ibsen. And now as we run our command once again, everything is updated and we get the new fields on the place where they have to go, right? So we edit this thing, we see that each item has its properties or values from the Google form in the right place. We've loaded into a database, we can update them, and even here, right, like if we see, for example, the location or the name of Lex Friedman or something, we could say, okay, here's an updated bio for Lex, right? And now on the participants page, that would also change. So we can allow for later update on the side of people who's going to modify these things, right? So here's an updated bio, right? And now this, something's not working. This is weird. Maybe there's some properties that are being cached or something. Well, we don't really need to put this last bit on the video. All right, so let's record an outro and take a little break. Okay, so this was a hands-on coding video on how you could load information from CSVs and break it down and then create database items with that information that we obtained from a Google form initially, but you could have obtained from any CSV source with Laravel and PHP. Thanks a lot for watching. It was Nono here, and I'll see you next time. There's a bunch of videos that cover how to create a Laravel app, how to create Laravel commands, how to serve Laravel applications, and how to parse more in detail, right? There is a previous video on how to actually load the contents of a CSV file and parse it. Thanks again. See you soon. I didn't understand why you put that there. But yeah, it is weird. Hello, Jose Luis. I'm fighting. I'm banging the computer once again, but this time it seems like we're recording a lot more stuff. So yeah, if you want to try this, maybe I'll send you the, I don't know, you can see it probably there. Fill that Google form quickly for me, even if it's with a shitty response, and you'll show up here later. But yeah, I don't know why this is not properly updating, why this is not working, but it doesn't really matter. All right, if you guys have any questions, any thoughts, any comments, put them on the chat. I'm gonna take a quick break and we will be back. This live stream is long, it's 2 hours, and I'm actually thinking maybe I'm gonna take a little break and do another live stream, or maybe I'll just keep going with this one. All right, I'll be back in a brief second. Okay, I'm back. So we're going to keep going. So we've recorded a few tutorials already, and one thing we didn't do is to parse the images or something. There's like a challenge there where I couldn't really find a way to read properly the images from the Google form with the Google Drive API properly. Usually, you can go. So if we go, for example, to Drive API, right? So when I get these files from Google, right? These files actually have a response that is not the file name, but their Google Drive URL, right? So you can see that here. This is the ID of the file, and this is the URL. So if I put this here, you can see it. This is the actual URL of the file that has been uploaded. And if I load it here, it's okay, so I can visualize it. But the problem is that this is not a JPEG that I can automatically download, right? And what I would like to do is exactly get the name and get the get the name of an image and the file to be able to download it properly, so we can reference that on the database. And at least if we go here, you can see that image is this URL, and we don't have an easy way to display that on the website. So that's a challenge that we need to do, but I haven't figured it out. But through this API, so I think you can try the API. So overview. Samples. I don't know. There is like a place where you can try it out. Drive video API. Nope. There's like a place where it says try it out, and I don't know if I'm not seeing create a project name of the API. Let me see if I save that link. Okay, see. Yeah, I cannot find the files list. Maybe this is it. Yeah, this is it. So if I go here to files list or like file get, okay, so if we go to file get, let's just put this here. We can paste the ID of a file, which I have here. So this is the ID of that Lex Friedman image that I uploaded. And we just put it here. So we click on execute, and now we're going to be prompted to choose an account and to accept or allow that. and now we get the response here, right? So we're getting here that file for this ID, the actual name is here, and this is the JPEG. And I don't know, right? This is just to get the information, but if you provide blah 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 alt media, then they're doing the file content response bit. All right, so if you provide the URL parameter alt media, alt JSON default fields, I don't really know. To download Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides, use file export instead. Downloading content with alt media only works fine is the file stored in Drive. All right, so yeah, right. So this is not something that URL parameter. Oh, okay. Oh no. Okay, let's just try that. I don't really know. This is not gonna work. Cool. Whatever. Alt fields alt. Request parameters. Alt. I cannot do that. Not sure. Well, it seems like I cannot do it through here, so I'm not gonna try to do it. But yeah, that's something that I had interest in automating. Maybe we can take a look later. But yeah, another thing that we had to do is to make a video on how to display the information that we have already as live components. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get we're gonna think that our images are somewhere else. So where are we gonna put our images? All right, let me test one thing. This is not tutorial, so it's okay. Tinker, find item. So this is 69. 79. Okay, so 79 image. Oh, image. Oh. Okay, item find 79, and then we'll get the image. All right, so that's actually there, which is good. So what we're gonna do is we're going to put, for now, we're gonna leave this like it is. And what we're gonna do is that we're going to go to the participants, so to the post template that we have, and where we log the participants information, we're going to also put another row for the image just to test. All right, let's do this. Participant image. All right, so we are gonna go to participants, and then we have that there. For some participants, it is non-existent, which is okay. And just gonna do that. All right, so we have the URL here, imagining that we would have that, and The only thing that we will need to do here is to put a PHP block for that image to actually be, so if we do participant get string property image, so we actually get the Google Drive image, and we just gotta break that with this. Okay, so we explode with this, and then we do this. So this is a unique ID from the Google Drive image, and what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to do this. Let me see if I can do this. All right, great. So we're constructing our own URL, which is fake, but we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do put it on uploads. I think it's some uploads, and we'll put this on relay. Right, let's try doing this. So that would be there, and let me see. All right, let me look at something really quickly. Okay, so I'm trying to make sure that I can see all the directories. Laravel, so storage disk, Laravel test. All files, all directories. All right, so storage disk spaces, all directories. All right, so cool. Okay, so now we have, I think I can do it this way. So we put them at relay, and let me see. All right. So I'm going to imagine that we go to our forms page and we open the folder in which we have all of those. And I'm gonna download them all. So let's download. So what I would like for this to do is that I have that CSV form, right? And we have all these cells, and I would like for these unique addresses, so we can maybe get here and just print them. Right, so we just keep this, and you know, this is one, and what I'm thinking is that if I download them all, I can say, okay, the first image is this one, the second image is this one, this is the third one, and these are the rest. Right, so we have these images here, and I'm just going to be uploading them to a server where we're going to be able to load them. Right. Great. Cool. So the idea now is that we're going to be able to load that image without the img, I think. So where are we? Okay, let's try this. Cool. So does this exist? Image source is this. So now what we do is we put the image source here, and we're putting an image, the source, and we'll just do like width is 100 pixels. Maybe not. Right, that doesn't exist yet. .jpeg. Okay. So the name has been obfuscated, and that's even more complicated. This makes things a little complicated, but it's okay. I guess we can just slag it. All right. So I think I just need to. I think this might work. All right. Great. So that works. Great. So we have that. The only thing is that we had to name these images manually. I couldn't automate that yet, and now we're getting this. So we have a list view of these participants, let's say, but we now need a like a grid view, right? And for that we actually need a view component. And how are we going to do that? How are we going to do that? Okay, so what I want to do with the view component is click on list and grid and have them change themselves. All right, let's see. So because this is getting too long, I am not sure if I should stop and then continue later. Maybe let's just do another break and then continue. Okay, once again, we're back. So many breaks today. Okay, so let me introduce the video and maybe we can recap a bit on what we want to do. This has a lot of conceptual overview, I think, and we're gonna need it. So we have this is the participants page, and yeah, this is good. What else we have here? So close, close, close. I need this. Right. Do we need this? Not right now. Okay, let's go here. Creating sortable. All right, let's try to record this live again. So one more, like this is almost the last piece of the puzzle. We have faked in some way that we have automated the part with Google API, but yeah, this is gonna start the, I think the last tutorial of today. All right, so let's get started. Hi everyone, it's Nono here, and this is a short overview and hands-on coding tutorial on how we can create sortable list and grid components in Vue. So this is, okay, let me record that again. Creating sortable list grid dynamic Vue components. Hi everyone, it's Nono here, and this is a short hands-on tutorial on how to create sortable list and grid dynamic Vue components. This means a component that maybe shows your posts or your elements on a website as a list, and then you can toggle or change to another mode that is the grid mode, where you can see maybe thumbnails or like a different representation of your data. Also, we want to be able to sort by maybe by name, by time, or by the index number of each item, and do that dynamically on the same website using Vue, which is a JavaScript library to create front-end applications similar to React. All right, it's Nono Martinez Alonso here, and I'll remind you that if you want to know how we got to here, this is a long series of tutorials. This is a series of tutorials with Laravel, and in this case with Vue, in which we have seen how to create a Laravel app, how to serve Laravel applications, how to create your own custom command, how to create a command that reads a CSV and parses its content, and also how to put those contents as elements on a database that we're going to render dynamically today. All right, let's dive into the code. All right, let's dive into the code. So this is actually the visual component that we already have, right? This is a Laravel view that gets items from a database and renders our data. In this case, we don't want to show the images or the thumbnails in this view, but on our grid view, right? This would be our list view, and which we can click each of these items. And if we were to click grid, then we'll see a different representation of this site that looks slightly like this one, right? A gridded list of contents. And if we click on name or we clicked on time, right? We have these arrows here. We'll sort this list in two different ways. All right, so what we have already here, if we open this application, is, as you can see, a Laravel app, but it's all defined in Blade. So Blade is, in case you don't know it, a templating engine that allows us to put inline PHP with Blade syntax like the one here or the one here, but also allows us to run normal PHP or HTML inline, right? This is an HTML5 representation, right? If I remove this and save, nothing is here. And if I put it back, this is here. So this is the HTML5 representation of this list in Vue, so in Blade. This is the HTML file representation of this view here in Blade, but we want to convert that to a Vue component that can dynamically change. So let's take a look. First, I'd like to take you to what Vue.js is. Vue.js is the progressive JavaScript framework. This means that you can apply it to different parts of your application gradually, and not like, React is sort of imposing that you have a single page application. You don't have to do it, but it's more opinionated in that way. All right, so Vue is a framework that is used by many different websites nowadays. And what we want to see is how to create the minimum component that we can do for our purposes, right? So this might be, a longer tutorial than you might think, because it's a complex view that we want to make, but we're going to start with the basics. The Vue instance, right? So when we load Vue and my Laravel application, we already assume that you have Vue loaded, right? So we have a Vue is already being loaded. If you go to your packages, you should have Vue somewhere in your pipeline and being built. And if I go to this website that we were showing before and I do Vue, you can see that it's a function, right? There is something there that means that we already have Vue in our embedded JavaScript package here. So if I go to the source code of this page, it means that one of these assets, right, like the JavaScript assets here in specific is going to be on the vendor one, includes the Vue variable, right? All right, so we have Vue installed on the site and we can do things like this one. So for example, we could come to our web console and we could do this. So we could do var vm new Vue and do that with this syntax, right? And we could put the options here as an object. And now we have VM, which is a Vue object. So this is a Vue.js object that we have here on this website already. But this is not doing anything because it's not instantiating anything on the HTML5 side, right? So to do that, we actually need to understand, right? When you have the root instance, you can have multiple components, and we might create sub-components in our application as well. But we'll always have a root component that initializes something. So what this is doing here, so explaining data methods, you can have an instance that has data and you can query the data, right? And you can access it in different ways. So we can see, for example, here, if we were to do var new Vue model, new Vue, and then we can say, okay, my data is going to be name equals my app live, right? So we do that, and with, let's put here with Nono.MA live, right? So we do that, that's our data object, and we have to close it, and then that's it. Now we go to new VM, we go to data, and we have an object. I think we might be able to access it this way, and my data app, right? All right, so I'm not sure, maybe we can access that directly as name. Yeah, and we get our variable, right? We're gonna see now why data is important here and what our props are, but we can have many different pieces of data that we pass to our application. And the main thing that you want to do on your application is instantiated with an element. This is something that represents a HTML selector, right? Like we're selecting an element from our app or like from our application, and we can add later methods, right? So let's go to the simplest application that we can build with Vue, right? Imagine that we have like a bottom and we want to display a variable, for example, right? So let's try to do here new Vue component, template syntax, blah blah blah, introduction. All right. All right, so this is how you would define a new component, right? So you say Vue component to do item, and then you say, okay, this is a to do, and then you say, okay, my app is this new Vue, blah blah blah, right? How do we instantiate this one here? All right. So the first thing we do is we create a Vue component. You can see here that we have this app7 div, right? Like the ID, and we can refer to it like this one. So when we create a new component there, Vue already detects that this to-do item is a component that it has created. So it instantiates it, right? So let's call our component participants Vue. All right, so we're gonna go to our Vue, and just in line here for now, I'm just gonna make a script. We'll have to refactor later. We're gonna make a new component, right? So we can see that syntax here, say view component, participants list, or maybe let's just call it like grid list view, right? That's going to be our name. We have here a set of properties, and the properties are going to be props, and we're going to have also a template that is going to be, let's just maybe make a div. Name. All right, so here we have to do, which is a prop. So we can say, okay, our prop is list, grid list. And you see we bind properties like this one, so item blah blah blah, and we can pass data. All right, so first of all, let's do this here, and let's put our component here. So we're gonna say, okay, we have a div, and the class is gonna be like grid list wrapper, for example, just to be able to refer to it as a class item. And here we're gonna have a grid list view, right? So this is gonna be our grid list view that for now is gonna be empty. And what we'll do here is, and let's just make sure, let's do this afterwards just to make sure that this runs when this is instantiated. And then we do here var app equals new view, and then we say our element is our grid list wrapper. I always like to add this JavaScript here to show that this is being used to refer from JavaScript. And we're gonna pass some data. We're gonna put here, for example, participants, right? And we'll have an array of participants that have a name, and for now just a location, right? So we'll have maybe 2, Peter, that is going to be a Madrid. And in our template, we're just going to show maybe props. Maybe we just show for now participants length. Let's just try that, and let's leave this out. All right, let's see if this works first. So this is a bit intricate there. Use of undefined concept participants. Okay, so right, so this is empty, right? That makes sense. Expected token. How on earth was this meant to be used with these sort of templates? Okay. Okay, so this is wrong. View is not defined. All right, so let's try fair. All right, let's try with this version. Participants is not defined. Okay, so now we actually have a way for this not to complain. So participants is not defined. Data is not defined. Okay, so what is going on here? So we have this template and okay, let's try to do with the prop. So let me take a look. To do text. Define to do item and then bind. So this is participant, right? And we bind the key, so item ID. So we're gonna put here an ID 0, ID 1, and here we do text. Participant name. Right, so now we're getting here the participants listed, so that's good. And we could say this is a list as well. Right, so we're getting the participants there, so we have something now, and we're gonna keep going. Okay, so what we want to do is to try to represent these things with this syntax, right? So what we could do is that we're gonna put this list inside of our original collection, right? So we want this to happen for each participant collection, and well, which is already happening. And so we have the template there for item. We could do here yeah, I don't remember how to make it so we can use the view syntax. Right, I'm gonna take a look at one of the biggest templates that I've done with Vue and just see how different that is, because I wasn't really specifying a template. vcloak Right, what happens if we don't specify a template? Oh, okay. Let's try this. All right. I'm gonna leave this for offline and we'll continue. You kind of know where we wanted to get, and I'll hope to make a video and release it as well. I would finish here, so I would thank everyone for connecting. I would say it's been productive today, so we've recorded a lot of stuff. So I'll remind you, if you're watching or online or offline, like the video. It really helps. It supports the work that I'm doing here with the channel, and make sure to subscribe if you want to get notified when I go live next or when I upload new videos. You can join us at Nono.MA as Discord at the community. You can also listen to the Getting Simple podcast and send me questions if you have any related to the topics I cover on the podcast. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Yeah, and really, a really quick thing. Thanks, Sajes. Thanks, Olivier, for connecting so late. Thanks, Jose Luis and Bea, for popping out. Welcome, Sarah. I hadn't seen you online as far as I remember. So thanks for everyone who's there, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. And I'll see you next week. I'll see you next Thursday. Next Thursday, I think we're going to be able to make it. Same place, same time, approximately, and more videos on YouTube. Join us on Discord. We can talk throughout the week. Bye.